Hey, if you don't know us yet,
we are Leslie and April.
we are two
We
chicks
have been
chatting
friends for 30 plus years, and we have been learning and growing individually and together.
through this adventure called life.
Get
Get
ready
ready
to
to
love
love
us.
us.
We are two badass chicks sharing our unique perspectives, dropping some knowledge with more than a few F-bombs along the way.
Join us, relax, and enjoy. Please comment, share, subscribe, and follow. And I said, let's talk about loyalty.
Yes. And my first question is, well, I don't know how you want to start, but
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
my first question is loyalty in relationships, loyalty in business, loyalty as far as customers, like
loyalty is a concept, because I think one of the challenges we have right now in the world as a whole is we use words that actually have definitions, but we use them in ways that are not meant for those words.
okay, like
So I don't think dependence is loyalty. You know, like I think if you'll know whether or not your dog is loyal if you take him off a leash in an open field and he doesn't run.
Yeah.
If he takes off and don't come back, that's not loyalty.
True.
So he's dependent on you, and dependence is not loyalty. They aren't the same thing. If you're in a relationship with somebody that's dependent on you, the reason they're staying with you doesn't have a whole lot to do with them being loyal to you as much as them being dependent on you.
Yes. And I think for me, we would have to back up and say the foundation of loyalty would be building of trust and building a relationship of trust so that you have that base or that foundation to then be shown that in through experience that someone is loyal to you in different ways. So building that trust in the beginning is important. And, you know, whether you're talking about a relationship, a customer, or a coworker, you know, loyalty has to start with the foundation in my mind.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I'm
Okay.
in my head, I'm trying to like roll it through and see
I got you.
How do I feel about that? Because in my mind, I think I am loyal to my children, regardless of their reaction, interaction in our relationship. You know, the loyalty to them is like baked in kind of in my mind. Not that I'm in agreement with everything.
Right.
But
well, I think that's primal. That's more of a primal thing where you are loyal to your family or your children.
I think there's a ton of people that don't have that as a primal
reaction.
That's
Okay.
where that weighs off for me, because I think there's a ton of people that don't have that kind of standard in a way. And I didn't have it for a very long time for my family members, loyalty in that way. And I discovered loyalty being something different than what I thought it was when I was young. So when I was young, I thought loyalty was like blind faith. Like I'm loyal to you, so whatever it is that's going on, I'm on your side.
Right.
And I don't think that that's really what loyalty is. I think it is a give and take.
Wheels
turning.
They are, because it can be, because I'm thinking of the people that are loyal to a fault. That's why I'm taking that moment, because I know people that are loyal to a fault, that have been loyal, and it's actually a detriment to them, but they're going to do it anyway. because they have this affinity for that person, or
But is that
affinity for this.
actual loyalty?
I don't know. Because then we're talking about balance, right? So,
Well, I don't know. For me, I don't know if I consider it loyalty because it's not an actual action that you're taking. You're like saying, I'm a ride or die.
yeah,
I'm with you no matter what.
yeah.
And I don't think that that's loyalty.
What is that then?
Stupidity.
Okay. What if that, what if you were that ride or die person and you wanted to be that to someone or wanted to be that for someone?
But that leads me back to the concept of unconditional love, which I don't believe is a real thing either. I think that is a concept that was made up sometime around that Cinderella came into the world. But I don't believe that's a real thing because everybody has conditions on their love. And if you think that love is unconditional or you're in a relationship where that's a requirement, then because the unconditional part always comes to the person who has to sacrifice.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge for me is unconditional love from me to you means I'm in agreement that whatever you do, I'm going to get behind, regardless of whether I think it's good, bad, or indifferent. So, if all of a sudden you decide that you want to, belong to the Jim Jones freedom religious ride and go to Ghana and commit suicide, I'm supposed to just jump in the car and head out. I don't think so.
No, I don't think that's unconditional. I think, and that we're going down a different trail now, but unconditional to me is, who you want to be and what you want to do is I'm still going to care about you. It's not going to change the fact that you've done any of that. Doesn't mean I get involved, but I'm still going to be there for you unconditionally. So like you were saying before, I think, what if one of your children murdered someone? It wouldn't change the fact that they're your child and you love them, right? So that's unconditional to me.
Okay. I get what you're saying. I don't know what the term is though for then that blind kind of, what a lot of people perceive as unconditional, which is whatever,
it's not a past
gambler and I spend all our money and gamble.
Yeah, no, it's not a pass
still
to do whatever you want. It's not a pass to do whatever you want. There has to be healthy boundaries and respectful boundaries as you as a person. But you're saying to this person that I care about you no matter what. I'm there for you no matter what. I don't necessarily agree with the things that you say and do or 100% of the time, but I am, it's not going to sway me from, our friendship or our relationship, whatever that is. Right.
Okay. I got you. So what are the parameters around loyalty?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Because when I looked it up and reading the definition, one of the qualifications would be loyalty to country or government, or, are you loyal to the Democratic Party, or are you loyal to J. Crew? I don't know. My thought process is, I can't be loyal to things that are negative, that are going to wind up being negative to me. And only I get to judge that.
Yeah.
So how do you determine what loyalty actually looks like and what does it actually mean? And is it one of those things that is a ever stretching definition, and it means to the individual that's dealing with it whatever it means. It doesn't have a true concrete definition.
I think that's probably more correct, because when you're talking about those things, and I was thinking about it just now, I think, well, if one of the parties had done something horrible, like they have been,
both of them are,
yeah, both of them.
Yeah,
nobody's in the right. It's you stay with that party because you are loyal to that party, and it's just like you're saying, regardless of what they're doing, just like the unconditional love.
Yeah.
So,
but that to me isn't really loyalty.
No,
it's something else.
Yeah, but if you're standing in that and they're doing something that's against your values and morals, and I think that's where this conversation is going, I think, is it has to do with values and morals and what you stand for as a person, maybe that you are in line with that person at that time. But maybe it's true that it ebbs and flows, like you're saying, because of the example I just used. You could be loyal to a party for all the time up to recently and said, no, I'm not loyal to any party now because everything is so messed up. And, that's because you're making judgment. It's not unconditional on what they're doing and how it lines up with your own values and your morals, and it's not lining up anymore. So now you have to make a personal change in your own, life. So,
well, it kind of freaks me out because of the number of people who are like loyal to the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, but they're not loyal to democracy.
Right.
Like the basis under which all of this is supposed to be built on, you're not loyal to that.
Yes. And that's really at the heart of what everyone should be loyal to. But
yeah, I think loyalty has to be, in my mind, it has to be bigger than a thing, bigger than it's bigger than one party. It's bigger than one idea. It's bigger than one concept. You have to have, where you were talking about values and morals, if you know what you value, then anything that comes in contention with that,
right,
is a no.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that.
It makes me feel better just as a person, because I feel like I'm not dismantling the idea of the definition of loyalty to match some version of existence that I've decided is valuable or not valuable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we have this base.
Yes.
This is a stew that we're making here.
Yes, it is. A ratatouille.
Yes.
Of course.
How do you transition it to other arenas of life? Like, how do you have businesses have loyalty programs? How do you measure that and manage it and make it make sense to the people on both sides of the fence? Because I understand, I think the concept of a corporate loyalty program is we want to keep our customers. So but we want to keep our customers and not necessarily have to do anything more tomorrow than we did today.
Yeah, well, that concept has to change, because it's all about community, I think, and the values.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Yeah,
say it loud.
It's about community, and it's about coming together and sharing and finding value there, and also having the same values, like what you were just saying. It has to line up.
Yes.
And the company culture, the company's values, what they represent, what they're actually doing as far as actions in the world. And then building a community of customers on top of that to say, okay, this is this matches up with what we're doing, and here's who should be a part of our community. Invite them in if they're not already a customer, and lift up those customers that are in alignment, that have stories to tell, because that's how you do it, is by telling stories of how it helped them, or not even the products, like how the community helped them, or what they got out of,
how this aligns with my vision of where I'm going. And not just, they had the best price and the product worked, and
there's always going to be
better than NetSuite, which I was using before.
And there's always going to be those people that are looking for the best price and the best, whatever. But and it depends on what it is. If it's a paperclip, then not exactly.
Somebody's going to build a better paperclip eventually. It is what it is.
And there's not necessarily, community that could be built. I could be wrong, but around things that attach. I don't know.
Well, yes, the attachment community.
Yeah, but it really depends on the level of what the product is, I think, too. But it all is becoming like the way I am seeing it is there's no filters anymore. And if there are, people are wanting authenticity, and they see it right away as fake, and they want more than that. People want more than that now.
Yeah.
They want to be, sorry, I'm trying to get the sun out of my face.
No worries.
People want to be of something. So you have to
blind.
Huh?
I said you might need to close that blind.
Yeah.
The sun is on you. You look good though.
Oh, thank you. But part of a community that is doing things like you say, that is aligned up with companies that are doing things that they advocate.
Yeah.
I don't know a better word, but it's really about all of it coming together in a marriage now, instead of companies forcing customers, down their throats, and or just giving them value based on price or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, it's got to be more than that now. And I think most good companies understand that. They're building social media communities and in-person communities and online communities that are in, they even have their own community pages and things like that. So I think marketing is getting more in that direction, more and more, even more than ever before. But I think there's a long way to go still too, because I think it's only going to get more complicated to have people that understand this concept, first of all, and then are helping to perpetuate it and promote it, and in ways that don't seem like salesy, that are truly authentic, so you have to have somebody who really believes in the brand, really believes in the values and what you're trying to do as a company to help others outside in the community, right?
Yeah.
And then, or help the earth, or help, stop whatever global emissions or trash, or whatever.
Just do no harm. If you're just not causing havoc and harm, and you're not doing your business isn't causing a consistent level of negative chain reactions, but you also want to create loyalty too. So what you're doing is you're adding more sugar to the cornflakes so that people's brains get addicted to it instead of them deciding they desire the thing you're making.
Yes.
So that's where, to me, companies are falling all over themselves in a whole lot of arenas, because the goal is, well, I need some social media influencers to get people to buy more X. And the reality is, the reason you need those influencers is because your product's crap.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to get the word out, what they think is the word out. But
well,
I hear
for some things, but some stuff's been around for forever. So you don't, if Pop-Tarts really were valuable, they would not need social media influencers for that. It's been around forever. It is what it is.
But you do, I have an example here, because Wendy's, I don't know if you follow Wendy's on Twitter, but they're amazing. And the person who
Wendy's, the fast food?
Yes.
Okay, their food's not amazing.
Huh?
Their food's not amazing.
No, but the person who is doing their Twitter account is phenomenally funny.
So the person is awesome, but the company is for shit.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, I'm giving you an example of because the word is out on the street, the community is very large because people want to see what this person is saying, or people, I don't know if it's a group of people, but that get together to brainstorm on said posts, but it's just beyond funny. And they respond to the customers as well that are, replying. And so it's building community because people want to be engaged with that. Not necessarily, I don't know how much of it will cause them to go buy something from Wendy's, because I can't eat that stuff because of my dietary restrictions. There's no way.
I just don't want to eat it.
Well, there's that.
I
don't want to put that in my body, but I think it's interesting that, because they want to be involved with something.
I don't disagree, but is that building a connection to the people who manage the Twitter account, or is that building a loyalty to the brand Wendy's and then ergo their products?
I think it's the people who are doing the count.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the numbers. I have no basis for that because, I could be totally wrong. And they say, oh, because of that, more people are going to Wendy's. But I just think people find it entertaining.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of space for that, for people to be entertained and put their eyes on a particular, creator or situation or whatever the case may be. But does that roll into actually having an audience that has what we qualify as loyalty? I just bought a new kind of washing powder for the washing machine for clothes. It's called Evergreen, and they're like little sheets, little triangular sheets, and you can tear them into pieces. If you don't need the whole thing, you can use half or a quarter or whatever. And I did 3 loads of laundry this weekend, and the clothes actually come out softer. Like, I don't need to use dryer sheets using this particular detergent. They smell better, they feel softer, they look better, the whole 9 yards. I'm completely impressed and amazed. They have a fan in me 1,000%. And because it's made sustainably, it comes in a little cardboard package that's recyclable. The whole of the little piece that you put in the washing machine dissipates with water. So, that just goes away on its own. It just builds on a whole lot of what I think is valuable in the world, on top of being an excellent product. And in my head, I said to myself, this is where I think a loyalty program actually would make sense to me. This is where I want to, now that I've tried it, now I'm in I want you to send me a new pack every, 60, 90, 120 days. But until I try it and until I love it, I'm a one-time buyer. I
Right.
try it. I give it my all. If it sucks for me. And that's
Right.
all there is to it.
Well, and you're bringing up a very good point. It has to be good at
Yes.
whatever it is that it does. You can't build a community on something that's not actually working, or it works mediocre, because
Right.
then no one's going to switch because they
Or they
have
won't stay switched.
stay
They might.
switched. Yeah.
Right.
They might try it, but they're not going to stay switched with a mediocre product, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
then to have the great product lined up with the values for the company, for the employees, and then the values of the company of what they're doing in the environment. Now you've got a combination to build a community that is behind you because of all the things you're doing to make sure that for a lack of a better term, your house is in order,
Yeah.
So your house
Yeah.
is in order because you are making sure that you are responsibly getting rid of things that might affect the environment. You're responsibly taking care of your employees. You're responsibly getting out the best product that you can provide. When people
Right.
buy it, it actually
works. Your
Yes.
end product, my experience is as good or better than you told me it would be.
So maybe it is about responsibility. Because
I think that's a beautiful thought. That
because if you're doing what you need to do in your area, and people are going to want in all those aspects, then people are going to want to be a part of that. It might take a minute if you're a new brand to get the word out, but
Right.
if you're doing all of those things, and also somebody good is messaging that along with you, right, and building the components that match up.
Right.
Because if you're not telling people the message, that's a problem too.
Well, obviously, right.
Yeah. If you're doing these things and not promoting it correctly, that's a whole different thing.
Right.
But I think then it is community worthy, because then you can go in there and say, I went to this event for Evergreen that helped to clean up the beach, or went to this event, that was about, getting rid of washers responsibly, or whatever it is,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, there's so many options. I think in the end, there are so many options for how you can shift and move and maneuver as a person and as a business. If you are doing what you need to do, what you need to do, if you're doing that the best you possibly can, people want to follow. They want to be engaged. But if you're trying to get them to agree that their experience that they know sucked really didn't suck,
yeah,
then that's always going to be problematic. And I think loyalty is when you turn around and you knew 10 people were following you, and now there's 100 people following you.
Yep.
And you don't have to continue to try and engage to get more followers. They're telling their friends, they tell a friend,
because it's a great story. So just like you just said, the product is great. I don't have to buy dryer sheets now. And they also are sustainably being responsible. So
Yes.
It hits all the boxes. So now my antenna goes up and, maybe I should try that. Right. It's just a conversation that word of mouth happens. That's how it happens.
That's how it happens.
Yeah.
I think that's 1,000% how I in my own personal life, that I see loyalty in the people around me, as well as the businesses that I do business with. I think that the loyalty that my friends have for me has to do with how I've shown up from the beginning to now.
Yep.
And their anticipation of how I'll continue to show up in the future.
Yep.
So it's not about, you're best friends with Kim Kardashian and God knows I want to stay friends with you.
Yes. Yep. It has to do with real authenticity.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
That's the catch word.
That's a great word. That is a great word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It encompasses it all.
It's ringing in my ears because authenticity showed up in our last conversation too.
Yeah.
So
no, it really is where everything's going. And if you're not authentic, I think it's not going to bode well for you in the very near future as a company or as a person, because people don't want to deal with that anymore. People are getting really, sharp with where they spend their time and energy. And if you're not being authentic as a company or as a person, that it's not gonna, that they're just not even going to give it the time of day. So it's got to be the way it goes. And then building that, what we've talked about, kind of those 3 legs, and maybe there's more if I think about it further, but at least those 3 legs of what they need to do to build a community. I think, that it would be successful. It has no way not to be if you're having all those things aligned. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I do believe it is one of the scenarios where the field of dreams make sense. If you build it right, they will come.
That's it.
But you still have to do the work.
Oh, yes. Yes. You have to do the work. And because of, capitalism has gotten so crazy, people don't want to put the time and energy to, turn the ship. And some of these ships are so large, they can't turn them on a dime,
Well, in the last decade of people were getting billions of dollars of VC money just for a concept.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a real business. It was just an idea. And there were VCs that were throwing cash at people left, right, and center. And their idea had no feet. It didn't have any legs. It wasn't going to go anywhere. So I think those days may be over, just because from the consumer standpoint, we've all decided, no, I'm not willing to be your freaking beta tester, dude. Not for my money. If you want me to beta test, it needs to be free. I'm not going to spend money with you and try and figure out where you went wrong.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
I think that's awesome. So now I feel like I can get back on the side of loyalty being a real thing and not just a bastardized term that people try and use.
They are bastardized, but in the way we're discussing it, I think it's the true way.
It's real. Yeah.
Yeah. They have very misleading loyalty programs, because they're trying to get you to take action in order to get points, in order to buy more of their stuff, so that's just a rabbit hole, because nobody has time for that anyway.
No. And it's like MCI doesn't exist anymore because there's no way to provide better long distance. If you can attach me to a line in Sri Lanka and I can talk to that person, that really is what it is.
Yeah. It's not that deep.
So, yeah. And in your example with the paperclip, like, does the paper stay together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't need paper clips anymore.
Well, I don't need your bigger, better, badder paper clip, because this one works.
Yeah.
It is what it is. This was awesome. I love this conversation, without a doubt. I love this conversation.
It was good.
All right. Let's end it there, because we're in our 30 minutes. And we'll talk again next week.
Okay. Love you. And I can do it anytime next week. So.
All right. No worries. We'll get it together.
All right. Love you. Bye.